Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast about understanding relationships through astrology. So, in this particular podcast, we are going to dive deep into Venus so that we can understand how Venus is going to impact the quality of our relationship and what are all the things that we can understand about Venus if we want to understand relationships in depth. And especially this particular podcast will help females a little bit more in comparison to males because Venus is the planet that we can relate with females more because Venus is a planet which is linked with femininity. Venus is a planet which is linked with females. Although Venus in general, Shukracharya is not a feminine entity, but still we connect Venus with females more. So females can relate to this particular podcast on a deeper level. So, when we talk about Venus, the first thing that comes to mind is love, relationship, yes, devotion, because Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces. And the people who are not aware of astrology at all, you don't have to get confused and you don't have to worry about anything because I'm not going to go into the technical side of astrology. I'm just going to use astrology as a reference, but the main concept, the main idea will be improving the relationships. So, we relate Venus with love, devotion, and spirituality. And Venus is the planet which is exalted. And by exalted, I means it is at its highest strength in the sign of Pisces. And the reason that it is at its highest strength in the Pisces is that Venus is a very spiritual planet. Venus feels at its epitome of devotion in the sign of Pisces. So it is exalted there. So when we talk about Venus, we have to divide it in two categories because Venus rules two signs. One is Taurus and other sign is Libra. With Taurus, we can relate beauty. We can relate superficial beauty, to be honest, then materialistic gains of relationship, commitment in a relationship, commitment in the initial phases. That when we meet a person, what kind of commitment is coming in our mind that, okay, we can see a future with this person, or no, this is not the person for me. So that kind of commitment is Taurus. Then initial efforts of the relationship, on paper value of relationship, these things will be under Taurus. Then on the Libra side, we can see freedom in the relationship, individual identity that we can hold in the relationship, diplomacy in our relationship, then brand value of relationship, profit or loss through relationship, and transactional balance in the relationship. So we are going to discuss these things one by one. So see, when we talk about Taurus, Taurus is the energy that when we see a person, what is that one thing that attracts us to that particular person? That is the sign of Taurus. Now, we can see that sometimes we see a person, suppose we see a male with a very beautiful female, and that male is average looking. So, I'm not saying that that male is ugly, but yes, average looking. And a random thought that comes in mind, okay, that this female has chosen this particular man, but why? She could have got a better man. She could have got a much more good looking man. So, why she has selected him? But when you ask this question to that female will be looking to that particular male with a different view. That female will not be looking to that particular man with that average looking view that you are looking at him, because beauty lies in the eyes of beholder, as we all know. So this particular aspect of beauty is Taurus. In our chart, wherever Taurus is present, that kind of beauty will attract us. Not our Venus, not our seventh house, not anything else. But how our sign of Taurus is placed in our chart, that will tell us that, okay, we are going to find these traits beautiful in a person. Sometimes this is not even about skin color. This is not even about the shape of eyes. This is not about your size of your lips or your body movement or personality or height. Nothing. But sometimes we just meet a person, the way in which they are talking, the way in which they are conveying their thoughts, the way in which they express themselves, the way in which they talk to other people, the kindness that they show. When we meet that particular person, all that energy is coming to us, and something will strike in us that we will feel that, okay, we were looking for this quality, we were looking for this trait, and we feel that this person is really beautiful because it is in alignment with our sign of Taurus. So that is one thing. And I'm going to discuss every placement of Taurus in your birth chart. So your Taurus can be the sign of your first house, your second house, your third house, your 10th house, anywhere. So I'm going to discuss every particular position as we proceed with our different podcast. So in today's podcast, I'm only going to discuss about Venus and the sign Taurus and Libra. So the next quality about Taurus will be materialistic gains. What kind of materialistic gains can attract? See, we tend to label females as gold diggers these days. So, some females are, yes, looking for wealth, for materialistic gains, and there is nothing wrong in that particular area. But why we are looking for something from relationship, that no matter who you are or what you do, there are some things that you really want from your relationship. It can be like, okay, I can date a broke person, I can date a poor person, but that person has to have a home. So why we have that kind of need? Why we are looking for something? Like sometimes we say that, okay, a girl can be from any caste, any religion, I don't care, but a girl has to at least have a normal education, or she needs to have at least a master's degree. Why we have such aspects from our partner? That kind of materialistic aspect is under the sign of Taurus again. Anything, it can be anything, that as simple as a person should has a decent dressing sense, a person should speak politely, a person should eat in a very well behaved manner. All these things are superficial things. We can say these are good qualities or good habits, anything, you can say anything. You can label these things under any broad topic. But all these things which are a superficial aspect of a person, these come under materialistic gains. And yes, your wealth and anything that a person can add on to your life will also come under this particular section. So materialistic gains of a relationship is also seen through Taurus. Then commitment, initial commitment. Suppose we meet a person and we think that, okay, we can see a future with them, but we are not giving them strong commitment from day one. We are just saying that, okay, let's go with the flow, let's see where this relationship is going to take us, let's try to understand each other better. So if we are using those phrases but we are not sure in ourselves that whether we can see a future with them or not, that kind of commitment is Taurus. Or suppose you meet a person and on second or third date that person says that, okay, I'm serious about this relationship and I'm meeting you for the purpose of marriage, I'm not just casually dating you, I'm dating for marriage. So that kind of commitment is also Taurus. So initially whatever mind, whatever commitment is coming in your mind, that kind of commitment is commitment of Taurus. Long term commitment is Saturn, that I will cover later on, but the initial commitment part is of Taurus. Then comes your efforts. The initial efforts, not the main efforts. The efforts of the relationship are truly seen from Saturn again, but the initial part of your effort is Taurus. Like if we are going to meet a boy and that boy is bringing some kind of gift for us or flowers, these things, these small gestures are Taurus. Or a person opens the gate for us, or he opens the door. Or the person that we are with is opening the gate for us or doing anything small, those efforts are Taurus. If or a person is talking to us daily, he's making a commitment to call you daily, or he's doing some kind of video call to you, or he's texting you regularly, he's updating you about his schedule, he's updating you about his plans of going out or not. So these things come under effort. So if a person is consistent or even non-consistent, both these things are coming under the sign of Taurus. And when I am covering all these things, and when I will talk about the sign of Taurus in different houses, then you can understand that why some people are unable to give that kind of initial commitment to you. Yes, those people can be really committed people. They can be really serious about you. They can be very serious about relationship, yet they cannot give you that kind of constant attention in the initial phases because of the placement of their Taurus. And that is where astrology will come into play, because in today's time when I see people talking about relationship and they say that, okay, if a person is not consistent with you initially, you have to leave the relationship, you cannot be with that particular person because they are not consistent, they are not calling you, they are not texting you. But we fail to understand that sometimes people can be really serious about the relationship, but their character, their qualities, their quality of their life is so different from the generation in which we are currently in, that they are unable to understand what you are looking from them. So these things will be cleared when we understand these things in detail through astrology. And I'm not saying that if you are texting someone and they are not responding for 48 hours or 24 hours, you have to be in relationship with them. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you are talking to a person, they are texting you back on a decent amount of time, yet they are not telling you everything, they are not asking everything over text, they are leaving something so that you can talk face to face with them. So these things will come under that particular category of our Taurus. Then comes the on paper value of relationship. When we meet a person and we feel like, okay, this person can make me famous, or this person is going to be good for my status in society, or this person is going to be bad for my status in society, or I cannot date a person who is outside my caste, or I cannot date a person who is not up to my status or my category. All these things, these thoughts will come to your mind because of sign Taurus, and this is called the on paper value of your relation. No matter who you are, you will always compare your relationship in your mind, that what position I will get if I come in this particular relationship. It can be in terms of romance. Females tend to create this scenario in their mind that, okay, uh, my friend's partner is going to love her a lot, and if my partner is not going to love me up to that level, it is going to deteriorate my position in our friend circle. So these kinds of mini thoughts that come in our mind, these thoughts will be under the sign of Taurus. And then again, you will understand when we go through the every placement of Taurus, that why some people don't pay so much attention on these things, and some people put their entire life focus on that particular thing, that my relationship is not looking good on paper. So these things will become clear to you. Now comes the sign of Libra. Now, for the first thing that will come under the sign of Libra is freedom. What amount of freedom you will get from your relationship? What kind of space you will get into your relationship? So, when you meet a person and you feel like, okay, this person is not jealous at all. This person is not insecure. This person is giving me too much space. This person is not restricting me. This person is not asking me hundreds of questions. So something is wrong with my relationship, because people online these days tell you that if your partner is not asking you where you are going, or if your partner is not restricting you, then your partner is not serious about you. Your partner is, if your partner is not putting some kind of boundaries on you, that particular partner is not serious about you. But if you look at their chart and you see the position of Libra, and you will understand that no, this particular person is not jealous at all, this person is not insecure at all. So this person is giving me space so that I can give him space. So these things will become clear as we will proceed with our podcast one by one. So this particular freedom aspect will come under the placement of our Libra. What kind of space? And yes, there are some people who don't want to give you space at all. So those people will be great with people who have that kind of placement in their chart, that okay, I don't want any space, please be close to me, as close to me as possible. So that is also a different mindset. Then comes the individual identity. What is your individual identity in your relationship? Are you the one who is giving 100% and your partner is giving 10%? Are you the one who is giving 20% and your partner is giving 80%? So that kind of individual dynamic will also come under the sign of Libra. Now, when we see a chart and we see that, okay, this person is going to give their 80% in the relationship and their partner is going to give them the 20%. So if we see their chart and that particular person is also listening to some videos online, and they are saying that, okay, please mirror your partner. Don't give so much energy to your partner. Don't put so much efforts on your partner. Now they are confused. Now what am I supposed to do? In my chart, it is written that I am going to do 80% of the work, and on video people are saying that you have to mirror your partner. You can only do 50% efforts and rest will be done by your partner. So in reality, this particular individual will be happy if they are giving their 80% energy in the relationship. I'm not saying that you have to give up your individuality for the relationship, but you will be the one who will be happy if you are doing 80% of the part. And most of the time, trust me, these kinds of placement will be in a male's chart, because male will feel that kind of, we can say, victory if they are doing more. That will also get clear when we proceed with the podcast and understand the concept of Mars. But yes, this shows that a person can feel really happy if they are giving their 80%, 70% a relationship, and other partner is giving 30% and we can say 40%. Why? Because that 30 and 40% might accumulate bigger share of responsibilities. So that 80% energy can be just asking how was your day, or just doing some small random acts of kindness. But that 30 and 20% part may have some bigger responsibilities in them. So we need to understand that aspect also. Then comes diplomacy. Now, diplomacy is a part which is getting eliminated from our relationship these days. People are diplomatic in their outside world, people are diplomatic in their professional life, but people forget to be diplomatic in their relationship. We cannot be extremely mean towards our partner in the name of straightforwardness. We cannot say unkind things to our partner just because we have to be truthful. These days, people say anything to their partner thinking that no, I am the straightforward one. I am speaking with facts. I am being honest. I am being truthful. No, you are not. You are being unkind. You are being mean. So, diplomacy is the value that is also seen in the sign of Libra. What kind of diplomacy needs to be implemented in your relationship? What kind of diplomacy you are going to show in your relationship? Then comes the brand value of your relationship. Again, it can be similar with the on paper value of your relationship, but brand value shows that what you will be labeled as a couple in society. When you go out, what people are saying about you as a couple, that okay, this couple seems a little bit off, they are not very welcoming, they are not very warm, they are very cold, or these people are very spiritual, they like to travel a lot. So any kind of notion that you have about yourself as a couple, that will be seen through the sign of Libra. Then comes the profit or loss through relationship. Is that particular relationship is going to cost you something, that can be seen through the sign of Libra. Or you are going to get some kind of benefit from your relationship. It can be mental benefit, mental loss. It can be financial benefit, financial loss. It can be physical benefit, physical loss. So these things will be seen through the sign of Libra. And this comes to the next point, transactional value. What transaction will be done in your relationship? Is someone coming in your life just to teach you a lesson? Is someone coming in your life just to give you something? Is someone coming in your life to tell you that you have to be very careful with relationship? All these things are combined in the transactional balance of your relationship, because Libra is all about balance. So what kind of transaction will be happening? Because in every relationship that we sustain on this earth, there is a transactional value. Nobody, even the person with whom you are buying your groceries from, that person and you have some kind of transaction to be done in the spiritual domain. So that kind of transactional balance is seen through the sign of Libra, that what transaction is happening in your chart. So these things will become clear when we go through every placement of Taurus and Libra. And yes, that is also going to come on. But next podcast will be about Mars, and that particular part, males can relate more to that because Mars is all about males. So Venus, most of the qualities of this particular Taurus and Libra uh, is going to resonate more with females, because that is a female in astrology, and Mars one will be assigned to the male audience. So I hope some things will get clear, and as we are going to proceed with other podcast, things will become much more clear, I promise you. Things are not going to get complicated, and people who are not aware about astrology, you don't have to be worried at all. Things will be simple. So if you have any kind of question, feel free to ask those questions on Instagram or YouTube. In on both the platforms, I have my channel the same name, Astral Dimension. So if you have any kind of doubt, you are free to ask me. Thank you.